Hey everyone, Oddball Comics here. So, these next few videos will be us going through the new universe as we explore these new characters. But other than that, let's get started. So far in the Infinity Wars event, when Gamora acquired all the Infinity Stones, she ended up folding the universe in half, merging everyone with another counterpart, creating the newest universe, called the Infinity Warps universe. So this is the story of the newest hero in the Infinity Warps universe, known as Soldier Supreme. We start with a young Steve Rogers during World War II, volunteering to become the lab rat for the great scientist known as Dr. Erskine. So once Steve is strapped down, her fingers begin to glow, and we see her take a needle to his Adam's apple. But when the fluid is injected, his body goes limp. But as soon as they decide that the experiment is a failure, Steve breaks out of the straps. With his body now enhanced, we see a German soldier run in with a gun trying to kill Steve. But when he puts his hands up, a shield comes into fruition, stopping the bullets in front of him. Knowing the unnamed German soldier could not kill Steve with his new powers, he turns around, shooting Dr. Erskine. So Steve ends up lunging at the German soldier, but as he lunges, he begins to glow, and when he creates contact with him, he ends up knocking the soldier through a portal, and when he comes out, he starts to decay. With questions from Steve and the army, they conducted multiple tests of what he can do and also withstand, ranging from bullets to rockets and even tank rounds. From here, he was sent to Europe and declared Soldier Supreme by President Roosevelt and teamed up with Dum Dum Fury, a mix of Dum Dum Dugan and Nick Fury, and also his friend from back home, Bucky Wong, a mix of Bucky Barnes the Winter Soldier and Wong. They saved many lives but also took many lives in the process of this war, including his friend Bucky. When they were walking through a snowy field, a blast came through, killing him, with Dum Dum Fury coming to his side trying to save Steve. Steve was too busy trying to save Bucky, not caring what Bucky would have wanted. As they continued down the trail, they received word that Hitler is now dead. But in this story, there's always a villain, and that villain would be Dormammu Red, which is really just a mixture of Dormammu and the Red Skull, also known as, in this story, Hitler's priest. Once Steve sees this version's Red Skull, he throws a shield, knocking him to the ground. As Steve jumps towards Dormammu Red, it's not long before Steve loses the upper hand. But when Dormammu Red stands over Steve, we see a blue bayonet stab through his chest, and from behind, we come see when Bucky had died, Steve took his spirit and kept him attached to his plane to roam as a ghost. Dormammu begins to surround both them in darkness. Being covered, we only see a small flicker of light come through from Steve and Bucky. With no telling how long they've been trapped, Bucky starts to fade away. We then see Steve locked away into the dark dimension, defending himself from monsters for the years, maybe even decades. He has been trapped here, and he began to master magic. And one day, as he sees a light pop into existence, with Steve's immediate response is to run and investigate the light. And when he ends up passing through the light, we see him summoned from a cult with the purpose of bringing MODOK. It's basically the regular MODOK spelt the way, but with a C at the end, which is actually just a mix of Mordo and MODOK, but also gave Steve a chance to escape. And I just want to take a second to show this panel. I mean, I love this interaction. Really, Aaron? Come on. Gosh dang it, Aaron. I love that. It's the best. Anyways, getting back into the story. The recently summoned MODOK, furious that the cult ends up claiming Steve as an idol, he begins to attack him. As the fight continues, Steve uses his spirit walk technique to go inside MODOK and realizes there are two souls bounded together, and he accidentally splits them apart, releasing the original MODOK and Mordo. With MODOK unconscious already, Steve goes back to his body, knocking out Mordo with just a big old left hook. He ends up taking the necklace off MODOK's neck, which holds the eye of Agamotto, which, assuming that's just Odin Agamotto. Now, realizing it has been decades later, in our current time, he looks into the amulet now, knowing he has two souls bound together, as well from an unknown cosmic collision. But there's still so many more questions. Alright, so what do you guys think about the Infinity Warps universe alongside with the Infinity Warps event? Like it, hate it, tell me in the comments down below. Other than that, make sure to like and subscribe, and give some love to that alert button. And I'll see you on Saturday. See ya!